Welcome, I'm Ian Murray and I'm a Professor of Electrical and Computer Engineering at Curtin University, and I'll be taking you through the introduction to the Internet of Things. My interest in the IoT comes from my background in computer systems engineering. I've been dealing with the Internet basically from the very early days when it was just a group of academic machines all hooked together with email and very little else that you could do with it. The Internet's evolved to a platform where we can share information, we can find out facts, we can meet with our friends, we can have teleconferences and talk to friends and relatives that may be miles away. The Internet is changing, and it's changing in profound ways. It's no longer just a means of communication. We can use the Internet to connect things that we wouldn't normally think of putting onto the network. Things like your fridge, for a simple example. Find out when your milk's going off and when you need to order some more. But it's more than that, much more. In medical areas, in manufacturing, in agriculture, the Internet of Things is going to change the way we do things. It gathers information, it processes that information and presents it back to human beings in a way they can understand. In the background, there's a lot of communication going on between the machines, machine-to-machine communication, and we'll be looking closely at how this happens. And that automates the processes so that humans can do what they do best, make decisions on valid data. The Internet of Things is just in its very beginning stages. We're starting to see the connection of devices. We're starting to see some places where the data is being collected and processed and used in different ways. So you may be wondering what the Internet of Things can do for us. Well, it can automate things. It can make our life easier. It can gather massive amounts of data that a human being can't really cope with, but we can use that to predict what we need to do in the future. We can look at trends. We can take actions before failures occur, and generally just help us do a better job of what we're doing now by embracing automation. So the Internet of Things, it's wonderful. It's going to cure all of our problems. It's a solution to all of our worries in the world. No, it's not. It is going to cause us some issues. Some of those issues include the security. We all know about cybersecurity threats and how hackers try to get into your computer. Well, imagine when we've got 20 billion extra devices connected to the Internet. That's 20 billion more devices for hackers to try and get into. It's a real issue, and we'll be looking very closely at the security. If we're gathering all of this data, and there's lots of data we're gathering, and it can be personal, and you could be walking past a sign and it'll announce, you should go into this shop because there's something in there that's of interest. Do we really want that invasion into our private space? Do we want other people to know? How are we going to keep this information away from people we don't want to find out about it? The Internet of Things will also cause a major disruption in employment. There will be a change. People will be losing their jobs. But the good news is far more jobs will be created in the area. These jobs will require a higher skill level. Instead of a person who's manufacturing cars, just tightening bolts, they will need to be able to maintain the robotics or control the production line, monitor the dashboards of the information that's being collected from the manufacturing line. So the jobs will be far more skilled, which probably means they'll be better paid, but there will be far fewer of them, and this is an issue we need to confront. So you may be asking yourself, where will this impact? Where will the greatest impact be in the near future? Well, I've got no idea, and I don't think anyone really has. This is something that we've got to explore. We've got to look at where will the resources that we save be used? Will we just save resources and not use that benefit? I wouldn't think so. So we really need to start examining where the impact will be and what these savings will actually mean to industries. Right, so generally that's the Internet of Things. Let's now have a look at some applications and case studies of the Internet of Things in the real world.